Okay, we've boiled the tea on the stove and made a sweet tea, about 2.5 gallons worth. And I love this big jar here because it's really sturdy, really thick. You can actually take the hot water and pour it into the jar, and it's not going to crack on you, which can be a concern if you're pouring it directly in. I try not to let it sit in a metal pot any longer than it has to, but a lot of metal pots are big enough to boil this much water. So what I do is put in my 1.25 cups of sugar per every gallon, and I've got 2.5 gallons, so I put enough sugar to accommodate that. And I boil it, put in 5 tea bags per gallon. So I have about, about 12 tea bags in here. And I let it sit for about 20-25 minutes. And it gets kind of like a dark color here. You're going to notice throughout the process when we put in the scoby in here, the symbiotic culture of bacteria and yeast, it's actually going to convert this over the 7 to 10 days it actually sits. So what we have here is a little bit of tea starter. It's some kombucha tea that I made before. It's actually going to help adjust the acidity of this a little bit, so it can change it to the right acid alkaline amount here, and it'll get the activation going a little bit faster when we put this in. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add this before we put our scoby in, and I put anywhere from like 1 cup to 2 cups in here. Get the environment going right for it. And here I have the new scoby that was produced from the last time and the one that was the mother of that. And I'm going to put them both in because I find that it actually speeds up the process. If you actually want to start 2 cultures, you might wait like a day or 2 more for it to culture. But if you're not wanting to do that and you want to make the tea happen just a little bit quicker, you can put both in here. So I find that actually when you look at the scoby, it's really interesting because it has multiple layers. It keeps putting a layer up constantly, and if you were to cut it, you could actually peel off pieces of it. But it has kind of a rubbery texture. It's actually really kind of funky looking. Might scare some people. Also, there's a neat video on YouTube where someone actually tries to taste the scoby. Wouldn't recommend that. Looks like he didn't recommend it. Anyway, then I'm going to take a piece of paper towel. I actually kind of double it over. 2 pieces of paper towel. Muslin cloth. Wouldn't recommend cheesecloth because some cheesecloths have too much space in between them. So I'm going to put this over, secure it with elastic, and this is going to stop dust particles from getting through. So you just secure that on, and what we're going to do is we're going to monitor this and see how the color actually changes and see if there's any movement of the scobies up and down. In smaller scobies, you'll sometimes see them turning, rising to the top, to the bottom, and it's very interesting. But the new scoby always develops on the top. Anyway, what we have in 7 to 10 days is something that's really enjoyable. And the way I test it is to take a straw or a really clean glass and just dip it in enough for like about a little bit of a small taste, a little mouthful, and give it a try. It should be still slightly a little sweet, effervescent, where the carbonation is built up a little bit, and it also should have a slight vinegary taste because you want some of the sugars to have already converted over. And then the next piece of this video, we're going to show you how to bottle it up and to actually get that effervescence going even more. So anyway, thanks for joining me for this piece.